Hello, hello. Welcome to another cozy episode. If you're new here, I want to give you a warm welcome. I make videos to help people relax, work, clean, study, or just fall asleep, or even hang out. So, today, the usual, we're gonna be playing Stardew Valley and continuing from where we left off in the last episode. Um, it's probably fall, and we're also gonna get into some funny Reddit stories because I was like thinking of what to, like inevitably when you make videos like this, you run out of topics to naturally talk about. So I figured what better place to entertain you guys than Reddit funny stories. So, yeah, I hope you are in a relaxed environment and you should grab a warm drink if you can, get comfy if you're trying to sleep, and if you're doing your chores, I'm going to entertain you. Alright, the first one is from Far underscore magazine. I scammed my husband into liking me and I admitted it on our wedding day. What? Non-fiction. Alright, we're gonna be reading about someone's actual life. Okay. Admitted in my vows, actually, in front of all our guests. Just kidding. For me, it was a love at first sight. For my now husband, not so much for him. I was his little sister's friend, with braces and constant teen girl giggling. He was the older, much, much hotter, couldn't care less older brother down the hall. What? I obviously had no shot. Later, met again through mutual friends, now both older. No headgear. I was just as in love. He was still just as cute. And this time, I actually had a chance. I wasn't going to blow it. I invited him to hang at my place after a friend's birthday party, and whoa, we're going really fast. I had staged the place. Staged the place? How do you even do that? I had casually left out a t shirt of his favorite football team. Oh, I know where this is going. Just tossed on the back of a chair. Oops, how did that get there? I left a CD of his favorite band on my nightstand. Because obviously that's what any casual fan does. I love them too, duh. I had his favorite drink waiting in the fridge. Super casual. Was I a complete weirdo for doing this? Yes. Did it work perfectly? Also, yes. It also made for a perfect wedding story. His sister, a bridesmaid, was only a little annoyed to find out I was using our hangouts as study sessions on her older brother. Just kidding, she thought it was hilarious and knew all her friends thought he was cute, obviously. To the people who think this is weird, I already owned the shirt and CD because I genuinely liked them. I just made sure they were visible. Also, we were so young, lol. I don't care, I'm into my husband, sue me. The title is obviously a joke. Good for you. I mean, you're married to him now, so. I'm like, it's kind of crazy how people have such stories to tell in their lifetime. All right, this one's a wild one. My husband has been secretly role playing as a cat online for 3 years. 3 years. Should I divorce or become his rival? Well, the answer is obvious to me. Okay. I, 27, female, just found out my husband, 30, male, has been pretending to be a cat online for 3 years and I don't know what to do. Okay, so I am literally shaking while typing this. My husband and I have been married for 5 years, together for 7. He's always been kind of quirky, question mark. Like he talks to a cat in full sentences that I thought it was just cute or whatever. Last night I was using his laptop because mine died, and I noticed his Reddit was still logged in. Oh no. Oh no. Reddit unsupervised. I know, I shouldn't have snooped, but something in me told me to look. Y'all, this man, this grown man, has been running a whole ass cat roleplay account for 3 years. He writes in first person as a cat, like, human forgot to feed me today. Vengeance will be swift. Time to knock glass from high place. But that's not even the worst part. He's popular. Like top posts, awards, thousands of followers. People genuinely think he's a cat. He has internet friends that think they're talking to some sassy British short hair named Mr. Whiskers. He gets into fights with other cat accounts about territory and kibble brands. I went into the rabbit hole, and this man has a full fledged cat nemesis named Sir Pounce-a-lot. They have beef. There's literal fan fiction of their rivalry in the comments. No. When I confronted him, he just sighed and went, "You weren't supposed to find out like this." Like, find out what, sir? That I am married that I married Warrior Cat's fanfic roleplay Tumblr in human form? I don't know what to do. He's the love of my life, but I can't look at him without imagining him typing out limb. The humans have displeased me once again. Do I divorce him? Do I make an account and become his rival? How do I move forward from this? Oh my gosh. And the comments say, "You're his wife. Make an account and help him wipe Sir Pouncelot off of Reddit. We stand with Mr. Whiskers." That's what I'm saying. Alright. Next is Witty Firefighter. Husband wants to reset his whole life. Alright. Hi, I'm a 35-year-old woman married to a 45-year-old man for over 7 years. We have 4 beautiful kids. My husband recently had his birthday this week. I surprised him with pregnancy test results, a 5th one, that we will be having a 5th child. He seemed to have a meltdown when he heard it, and he said no, it is impossible. We have been careful. I thought he would be happy, as he said it himself when we were dating, that he wants a lot of kids. I calmed him down somehow. Yesterday, I went with my husband to the gynecologist to have my sonogram, and the doctor says I am 10 weeks pregnant and we are having twins. Whoa. My husband was livid. He keeps screaming, "No, no, 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 no." I lost count of him saying no. What? After his meltdown at doctor's office, he told me that he can't have 6 kids at his age. I got confused as what he's saying, as I know he wanted a big family. He wanted it himself. I cried and told him, what are we supposed to do? And he keeps saying that he just can't have 6 kids. On our way home, he says how he should not have gotten married and have kids. What? And he does not know anymore if his life is worth it. What? That he'd be happy to have a reset button. What? But this is so beyond me. What? I got so mad and I told him that it takes two to tango, that creating a kid is not just my fault. Today I woke up with screaming and crying kids begging their father to not go. What? Turns out he already packed and ready to go. My three-year-old is hugging his father's luggage and crying, and his face is stoic. But then I knew I was stupid to committing a mistake of marrying him. What? I can't believe this is happening. It may be hard as I'm pregnant right now, but I got a full-time job and we do have a nanny and supportive family and friends. It is best if he goes. I do not need another baby to take care of. So to my dear soon-to-be ex-husband, Jerry, F you, don't come back. What? I can't believe men like that exist. This is awful. This is awful. Like, what? Anyway, this um upsets me a little bit. All right, let's see. This upsets me actually. Okay. Today I messed up by throwing my steak out a window. 10 years ago. Okay, it's a male. Last night, my wife's boss from her brand new job invited us over for dinner. On the drive over, my wife reiterated many times to me just how important it was to make a good impression. I scoffed and arrogantly informed my silly wife that I always make good impressions. My wife's boss is a single lady in her 50s, so it was just the three of us. We chit-chatted over drinks and salads and seemed to really be hitting it off. She laughed at my well-timed, perfectly appropriate jokes and my wife seemed pleased. Sounds lovely. Wait. Yeah. Soon she brought out the main course, a nice big juicy steak for each of us. As I began to cut into my steak, I was discouraged to discover how undercooked the steak was. Now, I've had my fair share of rare steak. I prefer medium, but I can handle rare. This was several minutes on a hot grill short of rare. I probably could have resuscitated the cow had I tried. Instead, I sat there fidgeting with my knife and fork, worrying about how I was going to get away with not eating the steak. Claim veganism? No. I'd already feigned great enthusiasm upon seeing the steak. Just then, a hostess excused herself to the kitchen to take care of some dessert preparations. As I looked across the fancy dining room table at the open window of this third-story apartment, a cartoon light bulb appeared over my head. I knew I had to be decisive, realizing that she could return at any moment. I committed. Oh no, oh no. he committed. I grabbed the steak with my hand, gently shook off the juice, and executed a perfect throw right through the center of the open window. Now, here's the big time mess up. The window wasn't open. It was the cleanest freaking window you've ever seen in your life. That is, until my mostly raw slab of steak slammed up against it and slowly slid down, leaving a trail of bloody juice in its wake. My wife, whose steak was a nice medium rare and was unaware of my predicament, turned, jaw dropped, and stared at me like I was an alien from another planet. This look then slowly morphed into more of a "there is no place on this planet you can ever hide from me" expression of demonic anger. My wife's boss heard the thud of the steak on window impact and came quickly. She took in the scene. The steak sitting on the window still, the bloody trail, my empty plate, and then gave me an inquisitive, puzzled look. I just didn't know what to say. It felt like a minute of silence, but was probably 3 or 4 seconds. Finally, the best I could manage was, I, I'm so sorry. I am such a klutz. I don't know. I was just cutting it and it slipped. Just ask my wife. I really am a klutz. Right, honey? No help coming from that direction. I will clean this up. I can't believe this. I am so sorry. Both women continued to stare at me like I had escaped from the loony bin as I smeared the blood around the window with my cloth napkin, dusted off the steak, and continued to mutter my incoherent explanation. I knew no one was buying the story. I knew what I had to do. I sheepishly returned to my seat and proceeded to eat every bite of that disgusting, cold, chewy, bloody, raw steak. No. No, I feel so bad. I remained pretty quiet the rest of the evening. My wife's only 2 words to me since the incident are, "I'm fine." TLDR. Tried to sneakily throw my undercooked steak through an open window only to find out it wasn't open. No. Update. Just got the first post "I'm fine" communication from my wife via text who is at work. Good news. Boss's name. And I just had a good laugh over how much of a fucking idiot you are. I hope you know you will never live this down. Love you, moron. W wife, I guess. I feel bad because it wasn't even his fault. And apart from this, he was actually making a good impression or something. Oh my gosh. Alright. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay. So there's a Reddit thread that says, "What's the funniest story you've ever heard?" or something like that. And one of them write, "I came across this the other day. As a man that has reached the ripe old age of 48, I can promise you I've seen some shit go down. This one totally takes the cake for me though. I was waiting out front of a truck stop back in the mid 80s, sitting on a park bench with a guy that had a big Rottweiler kinda dog on a leash with him. I tried to make a small talk, but he was quite a sourpuss. So we sat in silence for a few minutes until the most unexpected thing I have ever seen happened right before my very eyes. While we were sitting there, a big 18-wheeler pulls in without a trailer bobtail, so he parks right up front like a normal car would. Inside the cab of the truck with the driver is a little monkey, the dance for the organ grinder kind. I think they are called rhesus monkeys, perhaps. Well, the dog spots this little monkey and proceeds to go apeshit over it. As you do, lunging at the end of his leash and barking at the top of his lungs, generally making a real spectacle of himself to say the least. The driver is obviously upset, but not nearly as much as the monkey is. Actually, upset may be the wrong adjective to use for the monkey, though. In retrospect, I think eagerly aggressive may be a more appropriate description for his disposition. He was pacing the dashboard back and forth, never taking his eyes off this very aggravating dog. The driver opens his little triangle window that they don't make on cars anymore. The ones made for smokers back in the day. He yells out of this douchebag. He yells out to this douchebag to call his dog off because it is upsetting his monkey. As you do, as you do. The guy laughs and says, "No way. I told you he was a jerk, didn't I?" Says that his dog ain't bothering nobody. The dog hasn't shut up since he laid eyes on the monkey. I promise you he's bothering everybody for several blocks around. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. The driver says that if he doesn't call his dog off, he's gonna let his monkey loose on that dog. Douchebag laughs and says that his dog would eat that monkey alive. Upon hearing this, the driver leans over and reaches into his glove box, I guess, pulls out one of those tiny baseball bats like you used to get at Astroworld or carnivals, and places it in the monkey's hand. The monkey obviously knows what's about to go down because he is now trying to squeeze out of that little triangular window I mentioned earlier. This monkey has murder in his eyes, if I have ever seen it. Driver hollers, "Last chance to save your dog's ass, man." In response, douchebag lets his dog off the leash. Now we have a situation that has escalated to the point where we have a dog jumping up at the window and a monkey screaming profanities right back at him. Well, the driver finally rolls down the regular window and out leaps all kinds of miniature primate hell. The dog never knew what hit him. Quick as a flash, this monkey is riding on the back of this dog's neck. His two back feet all wrapped up in his neck fur, with one hand hanging onto an ear. The other hand, as you may have guessed by now, is steadily and mercilessly raining down blows about this dog's head and face. I mean hard blows. You can hear them whap whap whap. Well, it only took a moment for the dog to realize he was in way over his head. He bolts, yelping bloody murder as he runs away at full speed. I mean, this dog is running so hard, he's throwing up tufts of grass and dirt as soon as he leaves pavement. This the monkey still riding him and beating on him the whole time. Douchebag acts like he wants to fight now, but several people, including myself, Stepped in to stop that nonsense. In a couple of minutes or so, the little monkey comes loping back with his little bat still in hand and leaps up into the still open window of the truck to await his master, who has gone on into the store. That wanker ran off to try to go find his dog, but I don't know if he ever did. My ride showed up and I finally had to go. Never again in this lifetime will I see something so totally crazy and unexpected like that. I'm both fortunate and humbled to have been so privileged to be present for such an event. So, Reddit, please do tell. What's your craziest thing you've ever seen in public? Small monkey beats the shit out of a large dog. Insane. That surely was entertaining. Oh my gosh. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, okay, okay. So, this is another one. Wait, let me like shift to a more comfortable position. Okay, this is like amongst the threads that's like, what is a funny story I've ever read on Reddit? So someone replies and says, it's not even supposed to be funny, but I've honestly never laughed so hard. Okay, and he refers to this other thing. Okay. It says, driving instructors of Reddit, what are your worst student driver experiences? Had this one guy, complete novice, however, he'd been out and about all the equipment and not cheap stuff either. He had custom sized fins, a good quality regulator, the works. I really should have seen it coming. He really was an all the gear, no idea kind of guy. So we take him into the plunge pool, a really deep swimming pool, for the first time, where it turns out he's a freaker. In diving, I found there are two types of students. Wait, what? Student driver? Do you mean student diver? Wait, what? When we're talking about driving instructors, why is this about diving in the pool? Anyway, in diving, I found there are two types of students: people who immediately freak out and those who are serenely calm. He freaked out and used up 30 minutes of diving gas in about 5. Second time he goes in, I saw him fiddling with a valve. Him being a novice, I swim over to see what he's doing. As I get close, he starts flailing underwater, not using any of the hand signals. Turns out the idiot had closed off his own gas supply. It gets better. He had a custom tooled weight belt, had his initials engraved on it and everything. Apparently, it was a present or something. So we're still in the plunge pool, and it comes time to get out. I'm still in the water with him at this point. He starts taking gear off to make it easier to get out. Breathing apparatus and the like. The next thing that was supposed to come off was his weight belt. What he actually took off was his stab jacket, an inflatable device used to aid buoyancy and the thing keeping him on the surface. So, with nothing keeping him buoyant, and with no scuba gear, he lets go of the side to swim to the ladder. Of course, he rockets to the bottom of the pool, where I have to forcibly remove his weight belt, whilst trying to buddy breathe him. Once back on the side of the pool, I got an earful about how I had to go back down and get his weight belt. After all, it was my fault. He'd had to take it off. I'm such a bastard for not letting him drown. That's crazy. Oh, this is really big. I don't know if I can read this. It's too unclear. Hmm. Alright. Alright. Let me try to find more. More funny stories. Today I messed up by realizing why I recognize my new haircut. Okay, so 36 male writing. So last week I gave myself a new haircut. One I've never tried before. Normally I just buzz my hair short and call it a day, but lately I've wanted something different, a bit of hair to move around and style. So there I am in the bathroom mirror with my buzzers going to town. I settled on a look that I thought made me look a bit more adult and kept it. I received tons of compliments from everyone at work. Most had never seen me outside of buzz cut or messy short hair, ready to be buzzed. I noticed more women acknowledging me in public, and friends and family all agreed that this was a good look for me. Let's go. Today I thought it was a great success, but every time I saw my reflection or looked in the mirror, something nagged me that it was a really familiar look, not necessarily in a good way. Then today it hit me. I caught my reflection, and my hair was at an angle that just triggered it. I ended up giving myself the same haircut as Hitler, short on the sides, medium up top, parted to the side. If I'm walking around and the part slips down over my forehead, game over. I can't unsee it now. It's been nagging at me all day. I'm going to train my hair to part backwards and to the side so it's more of a swoosh. But until then, I'm stuck stressing about what if someone comes to the same conclusion. TLDR, I gave myself the Hitler haircut without realizing it. How do you accidentally do that? Although if he looks good in that, then like you really need something to pull that off. Oh my gosh, I remember when I was in college. I'll try to insert an image if I can find, but when I was in college, there was a stray cat that used to drop by our campus, and its haircut looked exactly like Hitler. Like the cat was white, right? And it had a perfectly shaped black patch on its head, like a Hitler haircut. It was the most hilarious thing. And the cat would usually show up at night. Oh my gosh, I wish I can find a picture. I don't really know though. Alright. Today I messed up by accidentally becoming the other woman and falling naked in front of his girlfriend. What? So I, 23 female, matched with this guy, Ryan, 26 male on Hinge. Normal, nothing weird. We talk for a few days. He's funny, a little flirty, not over the top. He invites me over. I hesitate for like 2 seconds, then say yes because I make great decisions, clearly. I get there, place is clean, smells good, no obvious red flags. We're talking, laughing. One thing leads to another, and we ended up at his bed. Oof. At this point, I'm fully under the impression this man is single, like nothing about him screamed otherwise. Fast forward a bit, and we're just there tangled up talking nonsense. I'm half under the blanket, life is whatever. Then I hear the front door open. There's a knock. Not a hey, I'm here, just keys. Unlocking. My stomach drops. I look at him and go, are you expecting someone? And his face just drains and he goes, wait. Wait! Before I can process, this girl walks into the room and just stops and looks at both of us, and time literally pauses. I'm sitting there, barely covered. He looks like he's about to evaporate, and she just goes, who is this? I panic instantly and start scrambling to get up because I want out. Grabbing the sheet, trying to wrap myself like some emergency burrito. He's talking, saying both our names like that's gonna fix anything. Babe, wait, I can explain. Babe! News to me. I am trying to get off the bed fast, and my foot gets fully caught in the sheet, and instead of leaving like a normal person, I just fall face first, completely naked onto the floor. Dead silence. I actually wanted to disappear. The girl stares at me for a second and then goes, are you okay? Which somehow makes it worse. Like, why are you being nice? She literally helps me up. I can't even look at her. I'm clutching the sheet for dear life. He's still in the background saying, it's not what it looks like, which is insane because it is exactly what it looks like. I just keep saying, I don't know, I swear, like a broken NPC. And she just nods like she believes me more than him, which is fair. I grab my clothes as fast as possible, still half wrapped into the sheet because my coordination has left the chat. I leave without even properly getting dressed, just survival mode. He texts me later a whole paragraph apology, blocked immediately. But I still randomly remember the exact moment I ate the floor in front of his girlfriend and feel my soul leave my body all over again. I just realized I left one of my earrings there. It's his girlfriend's now, I guess. Insane. That woman sounds nice. Honestly, why is it always the really nice, pure, wholesome women finding these messed up relationships, you know? Alright. Alright. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let me find another good one. Okay, this sounds interesting. Today I messed up by kissing my friend because I was 100% sure he was about to kiss me first. This happened 3 days ago and I want to move to a different country. Well, there's this guy in my friend group. We've been friends for like a year and a half. Nothing weird, except lately it felt like something shifted. Or I thought it did. He was texting more, finding reasons to sit next to me. Did this thing where he'd fix my hood when it was half stuck in my jacket collar, which, like, who does that platonically? Who? Fair. So last Friday, we're at a pre-game at our mutual friend's place. It gets late, people leave, and it's just me and him on the couch. Close, talking about nothing. And he gets this look on his face, kind of soft, kind of serious, leaning slightly and going quite mid sentence. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. I kissed him. He did not kiss me back. Not like he pushed me away. He just froze and then pulled back for a little and did the sharp exhale and said, "Oh." One syllable. Oh. I wanted to dissolve into the couch, cushions, and become part of the furniture forever. Turns out he was about to tell me that he likes my friend, wanted my advice, was working up the nerve. That was the look, that was the quiet. He was nervous about talking about her. I had to sit there for another 40 minutes because I couldn't leave without making it weirder. We both pretended to watch something on his phone. I don't know what it was. I was not processing visual information at that point. He texted me the next day like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, lol." And have not opened anything since. I have to see him Friday, same friend group. They will be there. I am not okay. The next comment is, if it helps at all to laugh, this was the next post in my feed, and and the next and it's a screenshot of this person's screen where right after this very story is a meme which says best lines in in movie history question mark. I start with John Wick, and it's a picture of a character and the character just saying, "Oh, full stop." Wait, I'm gonna screenshot this. Oh my god. This was really funny. Alright. Funny. Alright. Wait guys, I have to piss. Let me do that. Alright, I'm back. I am back. Alright. I I got an interesting one. Okay. Today I messed up by gaslighting myself for 10 years into thinking I was caffeine immune while drinking only Monster Energy Zero. Hey everyone, this is a throwaway account because I feel incredibly stupid. Okay. I recently saw a Reddit post from a guy who drank nothing but Coke Zero for years and spent a fortune on doctors trying to figure out why he had chronic headaches, only to find out he was just severely dehydrated or allergic to the ingredients of Coke Zero. It was a funny read because for me because it felt exactly like what happened to me, but with an M on the can. I'm 30 now. For the last decade, Monster Energy Absolutely Zero, the blue one, was my only source of hydration. It started around age 20 with one or two of these zero cans a day. By the last 3 years, it had spiraled into a minimum of 4 to 5 cans every single day, morning, noon, and night. When I say I drank only Monster, I meant it. I would have maybe one glass of water while I woke up and one before bed if I felt particularly dry. But for the other 16 hours of the day, only Monster. Water wasn't even in my vocabulary. I was conditioned. It was a Pavlovian response. The moment I sat down at my computer to work or game, I needed that ice cold can from the fridge. Nothing else tasted right. My brain performed Olympic level mental gymnastics to justify this, because I could drink a Monster at 11 p.m. and still fall asleep. I convinced myself I had developed a caffeine immunity. I genuinely believed my body just didn't react to it anymore. I ignored the science and the common sense because I didn't want to give up my ritual. For years, I've been dragging myself to doctors, frustrated because I felt chronically flat and exhausted, despite being pumped full of stimulants. I was ashen, incredibly pale, and recently I noticed my dark circles were getting so bad I looked like I hadn't slept since 2014. I couldn't lose weight to save my life. Even while being in a massive calorie deficit, my metabolism was basically stuck in a permanent error state. I'd get random heart palpitations or a racing pulse while just sitting still, which I knew came from the caffeine, but still was able to ignore it. 1 to 2 months ago, it clicked for me while I was researching my dark eye circles. I've realized I probably wasn't immune to caffeine. I was just heavily conditioned and dangerously dehydrated, stressed. The concept of hydration and high caffeine levels was something I'd pushed out of my mind for 10 years just to protect my habit. Then I finally cut back. I now limit myself to a maximum of 2 cans and never after 3 p.m. Everything else is water with lemon. It sounds so simple, but it is still quite hard for me to stay away from the monster to drink while I am thirsty. The Monster Absolutely Zero just had this nice taste I like that much. Sadly, there are no caffeine variants available. It's honestly fascinating and embarrassing how much we can manipulate ourselves just to keep an addiction going. I'm sharing this as a final closing chapter for myself. Hopefully, it serves as a warning, or at the very least, you can all laugh at how dumb a person can be for 10 years straight. If you have questions, feel free to ask. The comments. OP's eventual kidney stones are going to be epic. Have them cut and put on a ring. If people compliment it, say, thanks, I made it myself. Guys, I cannot do without water. Like, the amount of water I drink is. You'll be impressed. Over the night, I drank 3 bottles. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of this one. I need to find it. This is literally me. Literally me when I. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Literally. I found it. I found it. I'm screenshotting it so I can show it. Oh. Okay, here it goes. I am so tired of peeing. I drink the water, which I apparently need to live or something. Then I have to go put the water somewhere else 5 minutes later. I drink the water, I go to a place to undrink the water, I wash my hands, I leave. Then I have to drink more water. Guess where that water ends up? Not in me. I give the water to my body, and like a child, it tosses it out and demands more. All hours of the day, all hours of the night, no matter what I am doing with my life. My life is interrupted by piss, and this is. Oh crap. This sounds like it was written by a powerful being that is trapped in a human vessel and keeps having their plans thwarted by bathroom breaks. You know too much. Yes. This is what I go through every day. And guess what? I still drink a lot of water. Alright. Alright. The dogs are going ham in the background. I don't know if you can tell. I hope you can't tell. Because they are going crazy. Alright. Okay. Whoa, this is 26 days ago. Alright. Today I messed up by asking my girlfriend her ring size. It is going to be our anniversary and she's very fit and tech girl. Saw some smart rings for sale in Costco and decided to give one to her. She saw me looking at her jewelry box with a tape measure and asked me what I was doing and told her that I wanted to know her ring size and didn't think much about it. She told I'm 6'7", like nothing, and that was it. 6'7". That was filth. It does not represent me as a human. Anyway, this was a week ago, and apparently she told my in-laws about it. That I'm going to propose. So apparently now everybody thinks I'm going to propose. At this point, I have no idea how to fix the situation because besides actually giving her a ring, she is a very cool girl, and I would understand the situation, if explained. However, probably will make things a bit awkward at least. Okay, update. Thank you all for your advice on this. Just followed your comments and grew a pair and told her the truth. I told her that my in laws, yes, I call them sugros, that they called me excited about the proposal news. Explained everything, and not gonna lie, I saw her disappointed. I saw her disappointment very well deep in her. She said everything is fine, made a few jokes about the ring being a GPS so I could track her, and that I still could propose her with the smart ring. I told her that I want to marry her as we have previously discussed, but not at this time, and obviously not with what is honestly a very boring and somewhat ugly ring. Update 2. She said yes. Whoa. I will try to be brief, and I'm probably missing a lot of context. We celebrate our anniversary the second Thursday of March. We had been dating for like 4 years, mostly as friends. After about 2 years of just going out together, somebody asked about how low we had been dating, and we were like, are we dating? I know it sounds extremely absurd, but we were like best buddies and like to go out. We meet in dance classes, and here usually dance days are Thursdays is where the dance scene is more strong. So when we asked, we were like, I think we are actually dating, and decided that instead of saying March 14, we'd celebrate second Thursday of March. This is a girl I really like, and well, as just discovered, I really love. This is so cute. We talked a lot yesterday and had a very good conversation about it. I told her my insecurities about job stability and, well, a few other things. We discussed more things that we had never talked about, like kids, where we would like to live, and other things. And I found out how much I really match her and how much I'm friends with her. How funny it was, the situation in general. And as everybody pointed, the size of the. What? Size of the OURA isn't the same as the rings. We went to Costco to exchange and buy some mimosas. Okay. And here's the funny part. I returned it and happy that they didn't point out to the obvious and big note that says about testing the ring sizes before buying. Love you, Costco. We were walking around and they were selling jewelry and engagement rings. She jokingly pointed, when you propose, you need to get the one like that. Not that or that other one. Something cute and simple like that one. I asked a rep to show it and it was very pretty. Asked her to try it and she said that it is very, very bad luck to test engagement rings. Is that a Mexican thing I have never heard about? So took it and proposed right there with the ring she liked. You can imagine how weird it felt at the beginning. She thought I was joking, then realized I was serious, and then I felt like she was about to say no because she had an uncanny expression. No, why would you do that? Finally, she said yes. We got a small congrats from the Costco rep that wasn't sure if that was a practical joke. Wait, what? No, why would you ask her like that? That's really casual. I mean, I guess being casual suits up some relationships, but asking someone to marry you is not a casual thing. And I don't think a lot of girls would like you to be casual about it like that. I hope you were intentional with your words, at least, if not the place and the time. It just feels effortless. There should be effort in it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's read again. Let's read further. She made a few interesting points about how convenient to ask to marry her before actually buying the ring. So in case she said no, I would have spent a lot of money in a ring. That the ring is too big and we need to take it to make it smaller, and that I should know better, that you need to be sure your girl has her nails done before proposing. That's what I'm saying. You have to drop hints and like be intentional and make an effort and plan it beforehand. All of that joking, obviously, and trying to diffuse the situation. I just want to take you all for your advice and to the guys that took their time to send me a PM. I will upload a photo once the ring is ready and nails done. I know I'm missing a lot of details, but it has been a bit chaotic. As somebody pointed, this really felt like an absurd Friends sitcom episode. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, like honestly, yeah. I hope everything works out. I personally, if such a big thing, a benchmark of my life is happening, I would want it to be planned and put an effort into it. Um, alright. How long has it been? It's been 1 hour. Okay. Alright. To those of you who are trying to sleep, I hope you have slept by now. I really hope that you've relaxed and you're sort of in sleep because it's been an hour. To those of you who are listening for entertainment, or just hang out with me, or just for background noise while you study or something, I hope you enjoyed it so far, and I really enjoyed it too. Like, I just like this because it's so casual and low key and just relaxing. I kind of like doing this. I kind of like just talking and sharing funny things with people. Mm, if you like videos like this, you better subscribe and like and maybe leave a really nice comment. You know, because it's free and it entertains me and keeps me motivated. Low-key, I am feeling sleepy. It's like almost 3 a.m. for me right now while filming this. Yeah. Okay. Let's do a bit more. 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 I'm trying to find. I don't know if you can hear me when I whisper, but I'm trying to find. I'm also gonna have like really relaxing rain sounds in the video. So I hope the ambience is relaxing, you know? Alright, I found an interesting one. Alright. Today I messed up by tapping my wife's butt before I left for work. My wife and I have a son who is in kindergarten. When it is her day to take him to school, I will leave before them to beat traffic. I usually just tap her on her butt and say I love you and leave. Awesome. So this morning was her day to take him to school. So I did my normal thing and tapping her on the butt and said, I love you. I didn't think anything of it. Day went on as usual until around the time my son gets out of school. My wife called me and told me that something happened with our son and his teacher. Oh, I know where this is going. For background, my son adores his teacher and very much likes being in her class. So I arrived to see my wife waiting in the office of the school, and we both go in to talk to the principal. I was extremely worried because he hasn't had any issues at all. But apparently, when everyone was leaving for the day and they were all walking in line to leave, my son tapped his teacher on the butt and said, I love you. Oh, oh. I'm sorry, it's just cute to me. It's a child from kindergarten who learned it from his dad. Realization hit me like a truck. He learns that behavior from me. My wife and I were both extremely embarrassed about the situation, but his teacher was very understanding. We all had a talk with him about why that is not okay. I'm assuming he thought that it was a way to show his love for someone. Do not tap your wife's butt in front of your 5-year-old. Oh, this story is just cute. Oh, it's just like a funny family memory, for when they grow up. This is probably my favorite story because it's just cute and warms my heart. Alright. Okay. Hmm. Trying to find a few more. Okay, today I messed up by thinking I was muted on a work call while hiking. Guys, this is one of my things that I'm very, very particular about. When I'm in meetings or like just any call and I'm muted, I'm always paranoid about whether I'm muted or not. And I always find myself checking like 5, 6 times whether I'm actually muted or not. And every time I unmute and mute, just like if it was like a device glitch or something. Like, so like this story is like, you know, interesting to me. Today I messed up by trusting a mute button. No. I'm gonna get nightmare fuel from this. Alright. I work from home and my girlfriend and I just moved in together. Whoa. I've been trying to take short midday breaks to reset my brain. Nothing dramatic. A quick walk from a nearby trailhead, then back for afternoon meetings. I had a recurring video call right after lunch, so I logged in on my phone and started walking while people did their usual updates. About 10 minutes and my earbuds started dying. Oh, about 10 minutes in, my earbuds started dying. I figured I would switch to a speaker and stay muted while I listened. I tapped what I thought was mute, saw the icon change, and felt like a responsible adult. I got to the little stretch spot where I always stop. I actually talk out loud to myself when I want to change something. So I launched into a loud pep talk, full volume, like a terrible motivational podcast that never got edited. Stuff like, okay, stop being such a people pleaser. You do not need to answer every message in 30 seconds. You can take a break without asking permission. Also, quit pretending you love these meetings. Because I heard a faint echo, I added. And if anyone asks for a status update today, you're going to say, I'm working on it, like a normal person, not writing a novel to prove you exist. That is when my boss said my name. Not in a friendly way. In a are you okay way. I looked down. I had not muted. I had switched the camera on. My entire team had listened to my mid trail therapy session about boundaries and hating meetings. Silence. Then somebody politely asked if I meant any of that about the status updates. I tried to recover by joking that I was listening to a podcast and accidentally replayed it. Obvious lie, since I also said my own name. Now I have an ad HOC meeting tomorrow morning, and my girlfriend says I should stop trying to optimize my life like a video game. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, everybody in the comments is like calling him out on mixing his personal life with his work life and going on a hike while being on a work call. And that the next meeting, which is tomorrow in the story, he should go in there and apologize for not muting himself instead of being out doing whatever during a work call. Yeah. But like, everybody does this when you're working from home. Like, who will know? Except in this case, where he literally turned on his video. I wonder what they saw. Probably the ground. Because if it was his face, he would have mentioned it, I think. Alright. No. Today I messed up. I never asked my brother about his will. He died, and we can't get into his computer and phone. We're desperate. No. My brother died suddenly 18 months ago. He was divorced with two teenage daughters. The 6 months after his passing were devastating. We were completely locked out of his world. He was obsessively private, and I messed up by never asking him about his will and emergency passwords. Changed passwords constantly, nothing written down, no shared logins. We couldn't get into his Mac, iPhone, or a single account. We didn't know all his friends or where to begin. His will is on his computer. We never found it. His daughters are teenagers who lost their dad. He was the family photographer. They deserve his photos, 25 years of them, and they deserve to know what he wanted for them. Apple has been completely useless. We've hit walls at every turn. Has anyone navigated this? Are the legitimate professionals who help families recover digital estates? Any guidance is welcome. I'm sorry for laughing at this. This sounds really serious, but like, low key is what I strive to be. Be really private. Hmm. Okay, today I messed up by meowing while making out. My boyfriend and I were in the middle of a very steamy, very passionate makeout session when my cat meowed very loudly. He normally does this when I've been occupied for a while and she needs me to pay attention to her. Like all good cat parents, my normal response is to meow back at her, apologize, pick her up, and cuddle her. This is usually a great approach, except when it's not. The makeout session was hot and heavy. We were slightly high, first from substances and then from how good the session was. No wonder then that my brain didn't work. My instinct won over my common common sense. My cat meowed loudly and woefully. I meowed back. I didn't excuse myself from the makeout sesh. I didn't even stop kissing. I just meowed right into my boyfriend's mouth. He froze. He looked horrified. I felt embarrassed. Then we burst out laughing. Luckily, we haven't been together long enough for this to have led to a breakup. Insane. Adorable. Loki really want a cat. Hmm. Alright, alright. Today I messed up by falling in love with my best friend of 10 years. Hi Reddit, throwaway account. Today I messed up by realizing that I have fallen in love with my best friend of 10 years. I realized this today while we were out on the town at a restaurant. So, for context, I, 28 female, met him, 30 male, At a job, we worked together in our teenage years in fast food. We hit it off and started seeing each other every day up until about a year ago. We went to the gym frequently together, we swam often together, and we share a lot of common interests. Here's why I messed up. Here's where I messed up. I realized when we stopped hanging out every day that my mouth to God's ear, I have an attachment to him unmatched by anything I've ever dealt with. Today I realize that he is the most adorable and lovable guy I've ever met. Whoops. The consequence, though, comes in this form. He has had a girlfriend for the same time we've been friends. He frequently complains about her and always tells me about how he wants to leave her but can't because she's apparently saved him from homelessness as a teenager. This mostly tracks, but also, he could have just lived with his parents but didn't want to. Anyways, so they are considering moving to another city soon. I honestly just don't know what to do, and I am very scared because I've never been one to fall in love with anyone. Reddit, I messed up. Welp. Well, well. Someone says in the comments, from time to time, every person in a long term relationship is complaining to friends about their partner. It's normal. Did he say also good stuff about his girlfriend? Are you sure you don't just feel lonely and abandoned because he's moving to another city? What a coincidence it's triggered now, when he's moving. You didn't even mention you were attracted to him in the past, were you? We get confused sometimes. Think about it carefully. You have to be absolutely sure before you decide to make a move or confess your feelings. Yeah. Another one says, so question, you have been best friends with him for 10 years, and during that same time he has dated that same girl for 10 years, right? Have you ever met her or hung out with them together? Because you speak like you haven't ever been around her, which is really weird over 10 years. During that time, you should be able to somewhat assess their relationship, how they act together, how they treat each other, but you don't seem to know her at all, which again is really weird as much as you and he have hung out together. But since you only know one side of the story here, I guess I'm on the let it go side because to really make a decision here, you need to know the whole story of the relationship. But it sounds like you don't know at all. The one in the comments says, by any chance is your name Poppy? And it's the guy named Alex. The story is similar to the plot of a movie named People We Meet on Vacation. That's also a book. I've wanted to read that novel. I didn't know it had a movie. I guess I should watch it. People We Meet on Vacation. Someone says, I had a similar issue but in early adulthood. Some good comments here. Some with obvious biases of their own. One thing to consider is being in a relationship and living with someone is entirely different than being besties. You get the best of him, while she likely gets the worst. And if he's not getting the emotional and fun with her he's getting with you, distance will really shine a light in that for him. But after that many years, many of us just stay, even if not happy out of obligation, fear of change, or just not wanting to hurt the other. Humans are messy. I see people casting some pretty harsh judgment, but I doubt they all have a flawless track record of perfect decisions and perfect relationships. Someone else says 20 days ago. When you spend all of your time with someone, it's natural to have strong feelings and a close bond. And when that person is no longer around, it can be extremely painful and jarring. I had this with a friend in university. We spent 18 plus hours a day together and sometimes slept cuddled up together. He was my absolute best friend. We did everything together. He also had a girlfriend at the time. I started to get a crush on him, probably because we were always together, and he didn't often say nice things about his girlfriend. Sometimes he'd cross major lines, and I just excused the behavior. I didn't act on my feelings. I wasn't until It wasn't until we hadn't seen each other for a while that I realized how unhealthy that friendship actually was, or how many times he tried to cross the line, or how bad I felt for his girlfriend after the fact that he was getting dangerously intimate with another girl and that he was trash talking her. Like you, I couldn't imagine being friends with her with the impression he gave. I met her a few times and I always kept distance. I thought she was the problem. Meanwhile, I'm sure she would have been extremely uncomfortable with this behavior with me, and rightly so. Even if your friend returned your feelings. With how he talks about his partner of over a decade, is that really the man you'd want to be with? That's what I'm saying. This is has been in my head right now. That's what I'm saying. If he could say he owes her for saving him, and in the next breath cut her down so far that you dislike her without forming your own opinion, how do you think he'd talk about you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's apparently incredibly miserable, but he's not communicating with her about it. He isn't trying to fix it, but he's willing to uproot his whole life to move away with her. Mm-hmm. At best, he's trying for your sympathy, and at worst, he's being honest and isn't putting any effort into his relationship. Figuring out communication skills or leaving a situation and person he strongly dislikes. None of this sounds like a partner of the year material. Imagine how she would feel to find out the man she's been with all this time says such things behind her back. Yeah. But at the same time, he did agree to move to another city with her. Unless that decision did. It's 3 a.m., okay? Give me a break. Unless it's his decision out of the fact that she might potentially be aiding him financially, which kind of seems to be the case because he said she saved him from homelessness, right? So maybe she's like, he's kind of dependent on her financially, maybe. And maybe unless that's the reason he agreed to move to another city with her, because he's literally living with her and she's bearing the costs or whatever. Unless that's the case, he agreed to move with her to another city. So he like, even if he talks to you about the not really good parts of the relationship, that doesn't mean the good parts don't exist, because he did agree to move with her and leave you behind, like this girl who's the best friend. So evidently he does regard the other person more. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I think it's about to be time that we wrap up. It has been amazing and entertaining, and I will be doing this in the next episode as well. A bit more Reddit stories and more Stardew Valley. And I'm also thinking of doing Animal Crossing New Horizons soon. So if you have any cozy games for me to try out, you can always comment. And if you have crazy stories, just comment. Just leave a comment and tell me crazy or funny stories. Would love to read them. And I'll see you in the next episode. Alright. I would like to say, if you like relaxing gameplay, ASMR, ambience videos, and calm adventures, and a cozy company of a soothing voice in the background, such as mine, this is the perfect place for you, so consider subscribing, consider liking, and consider commenting, and consider watching my other videos and supporting me. Alright? And maybe share the video to someone you know who would like this to fall asleep to. And you can even save it in your own playlist to fall asleep to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know? And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.